Testing, testing, testing. Hello. Make sure this is working.
Testing, testing.
Sweet, it's working. Okay, so for those of you who have never been on my stream before, you'll notice that when I stream, you see a terminal up there. Because we're not pussies. So you see live trades on a live terminal. I'm down $400 in this account right now, which is fine. No big deal. Just gonna have to be patient. But you'll see that I don't. We don't hide behind anything. The trades are up there on the terminal. You see the trades on the terminal. I don't hide anything. All right. Sorry I didn't do it this morning. I was just extremely busy. Then had to take the kids to the dentist this morning. So, but gold gave us a really good signal. Hold on, I gotta share the link in my little Telegram group. Gold gave us the signal that I look for just an hour ago, right here. Let me just pull up Epic Pen. I don't think I have Epic Pen up, do I? So let me get Epic Pen up real quick, and then we'll go take a look at gold. But gold did give us the pattern about an hour ago, 58 minutes ago. You almost have another candle close right now, but you got the candle close right here. No, we don't do signal stuff. You had the candle right there. The tail was longer than the body, which signifies again that sellers are getting rejected. And now you're starting. You might have another one right here in 2 minutes, which tells me that there might possibly have some bullish momentum coming into the market. But that one an hour ago was perfect. This was a signal too as well, and that would have been, you would have been losing on that trade, but that's okay. So you can see on this account, we're down $400 on it, but I'm going to show you the history. I got a shoe fly in my office right now. I got to try and kill. Yeah, he's dead. Good. All right. So I'm going to show you the account history from. It's kind of weird because this is a leaderboard account, okay? And I'm kind of wondering how the leaderboard works. So I'm going to go from the 10th to today, and we're going to see. So we're going to go from the 10th to today, last Friday to today, and you're going to look and see what we've made on this account right here. It's $337. If you guys can see it there, you might not be able to see it because the YouTube stream might not show it, but it's 337. It absolutely can, yeah, it absolutely can test that. It's $337 in the last 10 days with $573 in withdrawals. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know how to move that so you guys can maybe see it, but trust me, it's $300 and something. So that have been made. And so what's kind of interesting to me is if I go to, this is a leaderboard account at FX Live Capital, JP and Daniel Savage's broker. And so it's kind of weird when you go to the social trading and you go to the leaderboard. I just showed you that from the 10th to today, we've made $338. But this is the account right here, and it's showing in the last 7 days, which is weird, a 3.25%, that I'm down 3.25%. So I'm wondering if it's just factoring in the trades that are in now, and this is just crazy because that's not at all what it is. And I'll show you guys the last several weeks. But I don't know if that's this 3.25% saying that I'm down is counting all the live trades that I'm in right now. I'm not sure, and if that's the case, then that's fine. But I just showed you that for the last 7 days or so, it's the 17th today, or it's 15th. The last 5 days, I'm up $337 in this account. So I don't know how it calculates that, is what I'm saying. So let's go back to the account, and I'll show you, because it is down overall to begin with. I did a couple of dumb trades to begin with, and so that's my fault. And so we'll go to the last 3 months. This account just got started, and we're down $573 for the last time. So right now we're down $573, but for the last 7 days we're up 337. And if you counted the losses right now, you'd be down 1,000. But we're not counting the losses because we're not counting those losses, and I don't think they're going to be losses in the end. But that's from the beginning of this account, and anyone can invest in this account. This is the really cool thing about this is an investment account, and you go to FX Live Capital and you go to the algo and you can subscribe to it. Even if you don't invest in it right now, just subscribe to it. That would help me out, to be honest with you. And I don't usually pimp stuff at all. I don't believe in that. But you can subscribe to it, and then you can also invest $100 if you want to, or $200, and then you can take out your profits anytime you want. So it's a pretty cool deal, and I don't ever see your money, so it never comes to me. You just invest it, and you have your own account, and you can take it out and put it in whenever you want. These numbers are not accurate. It's more like minus 9%, but it might be minus 20% from the first amount of money we put in there, but we're putting more money in there, so I'm not sure. But I took 2 bad trades on this, really. If you look at the account, and we went over the history, there was 2 just bad gold trades that I did a little bit too much, and I over leveraged it a little bit. I trade a little bit differently too, so you gotta understand that. There's that one there for $311, and I did a standard lot on that, and there was 2 of those. You can see. Let me just see this again right here. This is about transparency, guys. You know, it's nothing more than transparency. We want that. I don't mind transparency. And I lost on a couple. That right here. This was one that I think my margin just was stupid on this. I was selling at 1808.93, and I got stopped out at 1812. So that was $311 right there. And then there was one just down below it. If you look at the one just down below it, there's another $353 loss. This one right here, and I don't, what was this one? This was again probably a sell, right? Yeah, and geez, it's crazy because if you look at that, that was not too long, a couple weeks ago. I mean, geez, yeah. Anyways, so if you factor in that 311 and 353, that's $670 just in those 2 losses, and so overall it's only $500 in losses, but just those 2 trades were losses. So you can see that the majority of the time we've made a little bit of money since then, but those 2 trades were just stupid, and those were my mistake. And yeah, just dumb, just trying to push the limits, I think, a little bit. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Yeah, I know, it's really weird when you're transparent, isn't it? It's crazy. So I will be at the top of that leaderboard here pretty quick, but you guys should check that out. It's Daniel's at FX Live Capital, and if you want to put $100 in there, $200 in there, you get 70% of the profit. I get my little fee, and then they get a little fee, but I think overall we're going to do really well. But I also trade differently than a lot of people, right? I also trade differently. I'm not scared to hold trades and let trades turn around. No, I'm not scared. I'm not a pussy, I guess is basically what I'm trying to say, is I'm not a pussy. Okay, so let's go to GJ real quick, and things will turn around. You can see a bunch of buys on GJ, and look at this. You got a low there, and now you're starting to make it move up. So I think on the GJ we're going to make it back up to that level we were at before that big move down. I think this is the target on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking for those patterns that I like. I'm going to wait for this pattern to form. What I want to see happen here is I want to see a break above here, the 151.40 level, a pullback to here, and then give me that buy pattern that I look for, and then I can trade it up to this next level here. Okay, that's what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for a solid break above there, I did, but we can talk about gold again here in a minute. Okay, so I want a solid break above there because I don't want to just buy breakouts, right? I'm not a breakout trader. Some people are breakout trader. That's fine. I'm not a breakout trader. I want it to break above by a decent amount, pull back, and then give me the buy signal, which would be this right here, right? Which would be a tail longer than the body of the candle at the close of the 1 hour candle. Does that make sense to everybody? It's really, really easy. It's really easy. So if that happens, then my next target is up here at the 151.88, and then I wouldn't shut down my trade. Then my next target is, then you just start going to your next support levels or resistance levels in this case. And your next level would be 152.22, and then all the way up here at 152.60. So now you're just looking at that and saying, okay, well, if it goes up here, I'm going to obviously probably place my stop loss at break even or in profit, right? Because you don't want to let a winning trade become a losing trade. I'll probably set my stops at break even there. One goes up and one goes down. Yeah, so you would just move your stops to break even, and then your targets are obviously up here. I'm not taking out that trade because I want to see if I can get that move up to the upside. So we'll see if it breaks this level here, does this pullback, and then we get another buy, and hoping it comes up into that area. If it goes down, I'll buy some more. I'm not worried about that. Okay, and then someone asked if we did gold. We did gold for a minute. You can do it real quick. I'm not going to stay long. I'm not feeling great today. My stomach's feeling crappy, and I feel like I'm overheating. So I don't have COVID. So no COVID for me, boys and girls. All right. So on gold, we're trading between the range right now of 1783 right here and 1798. So you have two candles right here that started making an up move, right? You're starting to see a little bit of maybe upward momentum. Those last two candles gave us the signal, right? Those last two candles were buy candles, and you can see I have buys in there, and they're up right now a little bit, right? Not much, but those last two candles on the 1 hour candle close, you can see down here that both of those trades are in profit right now, and it's just a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, you can see those right there at the bottom too, of $10.20 and $4.80. Okay, those are the two buys, I think. Yep, those are the two buys. And once I get up, if I get up to 1798 or something like that, I will definitely place my stops at break even. So it becomes a no losing trade. But I anticipate coming back up to this 1798 area for sure, and this 1804 area. And I do anticipate we're going to come back up into these areas here. Okay, I'm hella bullish on gold still. Well, my buy take profit is the all-time highs. I believe that gold is going back to the all-time highs. I believe it's going back to 2073 or above. That's what I believe. I think just there's several different reasons for that. Obviously, in the charts right now, you say, well, that doesn't seem like in the charts right now you don't see that, do you? No, you don't. But I think fundamentals-wise, there's just too many things going on in the world right now. Inflation is a real concern in America. Inflation is a huge concern in America right now. We're spending, America is spending money like drunken sailors. And we're about to pass another $4 trillion in crap. So there's a lot of reasons I believe that we're going to retest the all-time highs, but my ultimate target on gold is the all-time highs at 2073, and I believe we're going to get there. So this is a monthly chart. Okay, let's look at this monthly chart, and we're going to get rid of some of these lines, and let's look at the monthly chart. Okay, we talk about the pattern all the time. Oops, I don't want to do that. We talk about the pattern all the time that I look for. And if I'm going to buy, it's a tail at the bottom longer than the body of the candle. Okay, we all know that, right? That's pretty simple. No, I'm a technical, I'm a chart trader, but you have to keep the fundamentals in. You have to understand the fundamentals too, though, right? I always have the fundamentals in the back of my mind and what would drive things. But I'm a technical trader for the most part. Okay, I'm just going to start circling Oh, I don't know where this is going to show up because I have this curved screen, so I'm going to make sure that I don't know if those circles are going to show up. So I have to make sure. Let's do this. Let's move the Epic pin and see where it goes. I would say I'm more of a technical trader, to be honest with you. Yeah, so you guys can't see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start circling every time you have, and we'll start down in this area. Every time you have a tail longer than the body of the candle on the monthly chart, and you don't have a lot of examples of it on the monthly. You know what we can do too? We can actually upsize this a little bit. There we go. Okay, every time on the monthly chart you have a candle that is longer than the body. You have one right there. And I don't want a wick at the top. You have one right there. And then you have the one that just happened a couple of weeks ago. This is gold, yes. So those are, I think you have 3 examples there. And look what happens every time you have that example. What happens to gold? Every time you have that tail at the bottom longer than the body of the candle, what happens on the monthly chart? Goes up, right? And when we're talking about a monthly chart, we're talking about massively. So on this one right here, on the first one, you would have gotten in at 1201, and you would be just rolling. You would make a massive amount of money, right? It goes north. So on number 1, you make a massive amount of money. Number 2, you would have gotten in. Oops, every time I try and do that line, it doesn't want to do it for me. Okay, so then you have this one right here that we circled. You would have gotten in at 1741 in June of 2020, and you would have made massive amounts of money. So what are the odds that this candle that just formed on at the end of August, is this going to be the one that doesn't play out? It could be, right? And I'll go ahead and do the other ones for you guys. You guys can't see this because my stupid curved screen. And my son that knows all about this is on his mission now. He's serving a mission for the church. We're LDS. That's why, again, I still think it's funny that people say that I do drugs or stuff like that. I'm Mormon. I've always been Mormon. I grew up Mormon. I went on my Mormon mission. And just so people know, we don't do drugs. Like, Mormons are known for, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's just hilarious that people say I'm a crack dealer or something like that. I'm Mormon. I've been Mormon my whole life. I go to church every week. We don't do that shit. You know what I mean? So there was 3 examples that you guys could see, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other ones going back to August of 2016, and you would have made money on all of those. Yeah, I'm using a curved screen, so it doesn't show the whole thing. And like I said, my son that usually would do this for me is gone on its mission for 2 years, so we won't see him for 2 years. We get to talk to him on Zoom or Facebook Live every Monday, but I won't physically see my son for 2 years, and he's been gone for 3 months. So, and it sucks. Just so you know, I spent the whole last 6 months before he went on his mission trying to get him out of the house. It's just time, it's just time for a new chapter in life. It's time for you to grow up a little bit. And so I spent the last 6 months before he left trying to get his ass out of the house, and and now I hate it. I wish he was still here. I miss him to death. I miss him like crazy. But I know he's doing the right thing. I know he's in the right place and everything, but I miss my son, and I won't see him again for another 20 months, another year and a half, a little over a year and a half. So, and then right when he gets home, which is crazy, right when he gets home, my next son will be going on his mission. So they'll see each other for a couple weeks probably, and then he'll go on his mission, my next oldest son. And I did the same with my brother. My brother and I were 2 years apart, and we saw each other for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then. So it's going to be pretty crazy here for the next 4 years, and we pay $500 a month for him to be on his mission. So there you go. That's like a payment to a car or something, right? That's a truck payment I could be doing. I wasn't paying for his mission, but that's what we do. That's what we do, and we support him. And he's doing great. He's having a great time. He's in Richmond, Virginia. He's in Richmond, Virginia. His cousin that lives right next to us here is in Pachuca, Mexico. So they go all over the world. I went to St. Louis, Missouri. Not really exotic on my 2-year mission, but I miss him to death, man. And we didn't, you know, it's funny too, because, you know, they're teenagers, and we'll do some more analysis here, but I'm kind of telling stories while we wait. You know, dad's always the devil to your teenage sons, right? Because they, you know, when they get older, they're wanting their freedom. You know, they're wanting to flex their freedom a little bit. And dad's, you know, I'm saying, well, you're still living in my house. It's my rules, you know. So we had a couple of years there where it was pretty brutal. Our relationship wasn't great. And it got better the last year because we loved to watch football together. But there was a time that you know, we didn't talk to each other much, and that's pretty sad. But it definitely got better by the time he left, honestly. And it's totally different now. You can see, like he says, he loves you and stuff like that. And I'm that person. If anyone wants to know kind of their personality and stuff, anything, go read the 5 languages of love. And my language of love, how I know that I'm appreciated, is just words of affirmation. You know, tell me I'm doing a good job, and I can go on for months. You know, my wife's is acts of service. That's how I show her that I love her, is by, you know, helping clean in the house or doing things around the house. Mine is words of affirmation. And as a, you know, you don't really get thank yous from teenage kids very often. But every now and again he would say thank you, and I'm like, damn, I can go on for like another 2 months just for that one simple thank you. You know? So, but anyways, I miss him like crazy. All right, so gold, we did gold. I think that gold is I still think we're going to go up on gold. Okay, and this pattern that's forming, you're starting to see a little bit of red candle on this hour that's closing, and the market's about to close here. But I do think you're getting some momentum to the upside, and I think we are going to go back and test that 1804. But you have to get through 1798. If you're going to go up to the upside, you have to get through 1798 first. That's that right there, right? And that does not mean there's not more downward play that can happen. I mean, you can come down back into here at 1783, and you could come down even lower than that. But overall, I think that gold is going to all-time highs. We're spending money like it's going out of style. Screw the haters. We're printing money like it's going out of style. We have an idiot in the White House. We have a guy that belongs in a nursing home. He can't even form coherent sentences. He can't even read off a teleprompter and finish a sentence. The guy, Joe Biden, he has dementia, and it's not early stage dementia, it's late stage dementia. The guy's a nut job. The only question that should be asked of Joe Biden is, do you want the short bus to the old folks home? Do you want the 2 p.m. short bus, or do you want the 5 p.m. short bus? Because you're an idiot. And so our country's being run, the United States, by an idiot in charge. And so, yeah. So, and he's spending money like he thinks that we can just spend our way out of everything, and it's just not true. And inflation is, you know, when I built this side shed on my house, a thing of sheetrock was $20 a sheetrock, and by the time we were done building this little office for me, a thing of sheetrock was $70 a sheetrock. So the price of everything had gone up, right? Because what's happening is you're putting a bunch more money into the market, right, with stimulus, but that money is chasing the same amount of goods. They weren't producing more goods. So that money was chasing after the same amount of goods, and those goods go up, right? Those goods go up. So, because the goods aren't, it's called inflation. That's exactly right. It's literally, it's Econ 101 class. And that's the definition of inflation is more money chasing after the same amount of products. So what do people do? They make those products at a higher premium, right? Yeah, he's blowing money like it's out of style. And the guy literally can't finish a sentence. And we should just go watch some Joe Biden blunders. Should we just go watch some Joe Biden blunders? Because it's just insane. The guy is a train wreck. I mean, it's literally embarrassing.
Biden gaffes, the stumbles, the confusion.
Listen to this.
They just continue and they get worse. Seriously, his staff probably can't wait.
And you know what the crazy thing is? We have to rely on people from Australia, news in Australia, to give us this information, because the media in the United States are so far up the Democrats' ass that they can't even see straight. We have to actually rely on Australian news to do this, because the media in America is just the propaganda wing of the Democratic Party.
Before he does that, the president has to go face to face with Russian President Vladimir Putin, which is a big worry given what I'm about to show you. And believe me, most of the media just doesn't show you this stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, some of these clips are a bit long, but I want you to get a proper sense of what's going on here, a proper sense of how the US president is handling it. First up, top of the agenda between Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin ought to be Syria. But in the lead up, the US president seems to confuse that country with Libya.
We could work together, for example, in Libya. We should be opening up the passes to be able to go through and provide food assistance and economic.
I mean, the guy can't form coherent sentences.
Assistance to a population that's in real trouble. I think I'm going to try very hard to
form coherent sentences.
By the way, there's places where
I'm going to try really hard to form coherent sentences. I shouldn't be straying off.
Let me say it this way. Russia has engaged.
I mean, this guy is just a freaking train wreck.
Norms, but
so I don't trust this guy with anything. Look at this. Listen to this.
Problems they're going to have trouble chewing on.
They're going to have trouble chewing on. Anyway, the guy is a complete joke, people. I'm sorry that it may piss some people off, but the guy is a complete joke. So we'll see what happens. But so we've done that. We've done gold. Let's do the pound yen, because there's a couple people here that weren't here before. And then I'm going to take off. I've got to make a couple phone calls. Then I've got to go to the school and have a meeting about my 12-year-old son with the school. So my 12-year-old son he's ADHD really bad, and he might be a little bit on the autism scale. So he's a bull to deal with. All right, he has his good days and he has his bad days, but he's in junior high this year for the first time, and that was a little bit scary. But they took math tests, and he tested out in math at like the highest level he could, and that's usually what ADHD people. They're not dumb. They just process things differently. But he tested really high in math, and he's pretty excited about that. But there also has to be a plan in place. It's called a 504 plan. And when he was in elementary school, he actually just ran away a couple times from school and just went somewhere, and they had to shut down the school. So they had what they called the Preston protocols. He had the Preston protocols at the elementary school. That they literally locked down the school. And so I kind of teased the principal at the elementary school, because we're good friends. I'm like, well, at least this year you can scrap the Preston protocols, because he's at junior high now. So we have to go meet with the school, junior high, and make sure that we have our 504 plan in place for him. But yeah, he's a little Einstein. And my oldest son, who's on his mission, was extremely smart. He was a 4.5 student and an all-state football player. And we think my 10-year-old, who's right below Preston, might be smarter than he is. And that's pretty scary, because my oldest son is extremely smart, and my 10-year-old Tyson might be smarter than he was at that age. And that's saying something, because my older son was extremely smart. Okay, so what we want on the GJ, if we want to buy the GJ, we want to see a break above this level right here, which is pretty significant, right? We haven't been able to breach this level here. We want to see a break above that level, and then a pullback to that level on the GJ. And then we want to have the buy signal, right? And again, the buy signal would be a tail at the bottom of the candle longer than the body of the candle, right? Right there, like that one there. So we'd want to see a break above 150.40 by maybe 30 pips or so, and then a pullback to 150.140. And the reason we don't want to just do it right when it breaks out, because most breakouts are false breakouts, right? Most breakouts are false. So we want to make sure that it goes above and it's not a false breakout. And that's what I think a lot of traders lose, is they buy those breaks right when it breaks, and then they get suckered in. And most of them are false breakouts. So we want to make sure it's not a false breakout. Yeah, Tyson. Yeah, my little Thai man. So we want to make sure it doesn't do that. So 30 to 40 pips possibly break above, and then a pullback to 150.140. And then we trade it up to this next level, which would be 151.88, and then potentially back up here to 152.27, and then potentially all the way back up to the high from the other day, which was up here at 152.85. Conversely, if we go up to let's say we do get this move here, and then right here, and we go up to this 151.88, and we start getting rejection to the sell side, then we want to look for a sell, and a sell would just be the opposite, right? It would be a wick at the top of the body of the candle longer than the body of the candle at the close of the 1 hour candle. But we want to do that, we want to take those trades around support and resistance areas. So if it goes to this area here at 151.88, and then we get that sell candle, which is right here, that's the definition of a sell candle, it's beautiful, then we could possibly sell it, right? Does that make sense? Okay, but if we get this here, and then a pullback to here with the buy candle, then we want to buy it up to here. And if I'm in a buy, and I get the sell signal, I'm not taking the sell. So if I got in right here at 151.40 and it goes up to 151.88 and I'm up 48 pips or whatever it is, I'm not closing out that trade to get into a sell trade. So the only time I wouldn't take the signal is if I was already in a buy trade and I'm up 48 pips. I would place my stop in profit, maybe somewhere in here at plus 10, plus 20. But I'm not going to get out of a winning trade for a potentially winning trade. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense? I'm not going to get into a potentially winning trade when I'm already in a winning trade. So I'll move my stop losses up if I start seeing rejection to the sell side, but I will not get out of that. Yeah, it's and I have ADHD. I mean, most of you guys know that. I've never done an alcohol or drugs in my life, but I have ADHD, man. I have ADHD. I take medication. I take Adderall for it. I'm on Adderall. There's no shame in that. I take Adderall, like 80 milligrams of Adderall a day. And I go through mood swings. And that's okay, too, right? All right, so does everybody got the plan on that? It's really, really easy. If we're looking to buy something, we want a candle with a tail longer than the body of the candle, just like this one. We'll circle this one again right there. If we want to buy, we are looking for a tail longer than the body of the candle. We're going to enter at the opening of the next 1 hour candle, and our stop loss is always going to be below the previous low of that tail, and you want it 10, 20 pips below there. You don't want your stop loss right at the tail, right? Because a lot of times they'll come test that tail. You want it a little bit below the tail. So if you have to adjust your lot size to make sure, because you have to have a little deeper stop loss, that's fine. But you want to have it a little bit below that. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody got that? Yes, it obviously means sellers are getting rejected and that buyers are coming into the market. Exactly right. Okay, so that's the buy one, and the sell one again is this one right here. Look at this perfect one right here. Okay, and the one right there. Those are perfect ones. You would have entered at the opening of that next 1 hour candle, and there you go. You do really well on that. And it came right up to that support level or resistance level right here. That was a resistance level several times. Okay, pretty easy. That is easy trading. So the sell signal is just that, and that's it. That's the gist of how I trade and how I've been trading for 17 years, almost 18 now. It's as simple as that. And don't take my word for it. Back test it. It works on any pair. It works on any time frame. Don't take my word for it. Just do the work yourself and do the homework. But I think that'll be it for today, guys. I've got a ton of stuff to do. To get ready, and I really need a nap, to be honest with you, because I'm an old fart, right? I'm an old guy. I need my rest, right? All right, guys, thanks for coming in. It's really simple, and I appreciate you guys coming in today to check this out, and we'll be doing more of these, so we'll talk to you guys again soon.